Hi everyone, let us introduce ourselves. We are from Group 28 of Class 2024D. Here, we would like to share the result of our review of the articles we have selected. And before we begin, allow us to introduce ourselves. Let's start with me. My name is Taskia Tunufus and my last ID is 076, and my friends Alisa Putri Mahzuma with last ID 0H6, and my last friend is Sofia Cahyani Putri with last ID 063. Okay, now let's start the presentation. In part 1, there is the introduction setting the stage. The first, inclusive early childhood education, aims to support all children's participation and development. The second, educational systems may still contain base structures that privilege certain abilities. And the third, this article discusses capabilities and ableism as two perspectives for understanding inclusion in early childhood education. So, inclusive education is not only about access, but also about ensuring every child can actively and meaningfully participate. And recognizing ableist structures help educators reflect and improve their teaching practices. The next is abstract summary, the core. The first, there is to explore the relationship between capabilities approach and ableism critical perspective. The second, to analyze how these concepts contribute to inclusive early childhood education. And the third, to examine their relevance in early childhood education policies and practices. So that means this perspective provides a deeper understanding of inclusion beyond just theory. And effective inclusion requires both critical awareness and real implementation in classroom.
Research objective, the aim. The bring together the capabilities of provide and ableist critical perspective which have rarely been combined in the early childhood education context. To illustrate how both approaches offer a more nuanced analytical perspective on inequalities within influences education. To analyze the early childhood education policy documents in Australia to identify both enabling and excluding dimensions regarding the competencies of children or educator. To develop a new theoretical framework, call it CAP or Abilities Continuum to balance interdisciplinary norms. Methodology, the approach. The article is a conceptual and literature-based analysis. It reviews existing research on capabilities and abilities. The author also analyzes early childhood education policies in Australia. Conceptual and literature-based analysis. This article is a conceptual paper, meaning it does not collect primary data. Instead, in develop theoretical understanding by analyzing existing context. Review of existing research. The study includes a literature review where are other examine perfect students reals due to inclusive education, early childhood education, capabilities, and abilities. Identify how both approaches have been used since sparingly, highlight the lack of interaction between them is past research. Policy analysis in Australia. In addition to the literature review and other contexts and experiences analysis of policy documents, specifically early childhood education policies in Australia, key national framework relates to children's competences, educator competences. The purpose of this analysis is to identify how policies reflect enabling aspects or capabilities, excluding aspects or abilities. Key findings: the rules capabilities highlight children opportunities and freedom in education. Abilities critical perspectives expose critical bursts affecting children with disabilities. Inclusive education research both critical reflection and sports some work.
Conclusion. The takeaway. The study concludes that inclusion is not just about physical presence in a classroom, but about dismantling the narrow standard of normality that disadvantage children with disability. It is recommended that future studies and policies as the CAP abilities continuum to usher ECE remains a space for empowerment rather than just a preparation phase for primary school. How to get involved? We can start by reflecting on our own views. Do we look at children based on what they cannot do, or do we see their unique potential, identifying our own disconcerns? Ablation is the first step. As future educator, we should focus on providing diverse opportunities in this forcing a child to fit a right curriculum. We should adapt our teaching methods to meet their specific capabilities. We can get involved by designing bare-free environments. This means making sure our classroom materials and activity are accessible and welcoming for everyone, regardless of their physical or cognitive condition. Lastly, we can advocate for better policy in our schools support system that treat inclusion not as a burden but as a fundamental human right for every child. Person reflection. I find this article fascinating because it challenges us as educators to question our own beliefs. It reminds us that every child way of learning and being is valid. This topic is highly relevant to my study in early childhood education. It provides a critical lens for my future career, especially in designing materials and environments that respect the dignity of every student.
And the last part is closing and question. The first, capabilities and ableism provide complementary perspective in early childhood education. And the second, ableism reveals inequality and exclusion. And the third, the capabilities approach emphasizes opportunities for development and a good life for all children. So that means is these ideas encourage educators to rethink how inclusion is applied in daily teaching. And addressing ableism is an important step toward creating equal opportunities for all learners. Maybe that's all from our groups, more or less. We apologize. Thank you.